Hi all, right, welcome back to more Labyrinth, playing the extended campaign solo. This is part 18, and yeah, let's get some gameplay. Again, let's get back to the gameplay. Although one little thought there, just before I put this camera on, I don't think I would have liked to have run the app at the side here, keeping me right. I think that would have taken a little bit away. So, I'm going to leave that at that. Okay, right. Jihadist Videos was the last card to be played. They only played one card though, I remember that now, and I've got it marked at the up top there that they're on their second card. Select 3 countries without cells, test them, recruit 1 in each, ignoring funding, place cadre in each country that does not receive a cell. Yes. So I want to say we only had 1 cell on the track. First cell got put in the US. Cadre got placed here in Afghanistan where there's already a cadre, so it was a bit interesting, but it does seem the rules don't say anything about that not being a possibility. So although I dare say it could be debatable, or whether the intent's there and it's maybe just not covered in the rules, I don't know. So I did find a thread that most of the people in the thread thought that it seemed fine. There was others that thought that no, as if there's a cadre there, then you can't place another one. But I went with that thinking. Let me know your thoughts. And the other one must have got put here in Yemen. I think that was between Somalia and Yemen because Yemen was poor. I mean, we hadn't tested Somalia. So yeah, I think all that's good. Right, okay. So let us... wait a minute, this camera seems a bit iffy looking. Right, okay, so second card for the Jihadist player. Oh my, it's another 3. It's another 3 ops Jihadist card. Kashmir. Islamabad aids irredentist militants. Irredentist militants, right, okay, fair enough. It says shift Pakistan 1 box towards adversary and place a cell there. And it's blocked by Indo-Pakistani talks, which we don't have in play. Well, again, this can be played, but only half of it can be played, but that's fine. We've had this situation before, and if the event can be played, it's not that we're using the ops, so we can't sort of save some for radicalisation here. Obviously, if we were using it for ops and only being able to use 1 or 2 ops, this is where we've got to stay switched on to remember that the other ops are going to be used for something else, radicalisation, and follow the rules for that. Shift Pakistan 1 box towards adversary and place a cell there. There's no cells on the track, but yeah, this can be played. So what is it? Card 83. So 83 Kashmir. Working beneath the surface of Islamabad's alliance with the United States in the war on terror, Pakistan's claim on Indian-occupied Kashmir and its traditional shielding, if not outright support for Islamist militancy there, has sometimes blocked Pakistani action against extremists, sometimes not. Okay, so we're going to play this card and we're going to shift Pakistan 1 box towards adversary and place a cell there. So we can shift Pakistan 1 box towards adversary, so it's neutral, so it's good. It's still good, but neutral, and we cannot place a cell. So, but that's fine. My take is that can happen. Okay, seems fair enough. I mean, I know we've still got the Benazir Bhutto thing going on in here, which means that they can't do jihads, but moving from ally to neutral, I think is good for them. The fact that it's good, I don't know if that matters terribly to me or not. I'm not sure. But that's the way it was moving it. It wasn't worsening its governance, it was just 1 box towards adversary and place a cell there. Okay. Right, I've just spent about 10 minutes paused talking into the camera. Yeah, I do tend to do this once in a while. Not as much as maybe what I used to, but the old paused when I'm recording, or think I'm paused when I'm recording, and vice versa. And yeah, it's a bit frustrating. You're probably happy with not hearing me talk for the next 10 minutes, but it's quite interesting to see, and it's regarding my cards. I think I'm at that spot. Hopefully I'll be able to cut out the bit that's just doing nothing, and just start again. I don't think there's any in me talking about my cards. So here's my cards, right? Actually I've put them around the wrong way, haven't I? Yeah, because I'm looking at them in that kind of way, right? So yeah, it's really quite interesting, and I'm just going to have to talk about it all over again. Fortunately, it wasn't that it was halfway through me talking about it, so I think we can just start at the beginning again. Right, so I've got three jihadist cards, three and the unassociated cards, and 2 US cards. And remember, we've only gotten 8 cards. We didn't keep a card from the last turn. So Martyrdom Operation, well, we've already been through that last turn, and that's the one that replaces cell with any 2 available plot markers. This is going to go off. So I was thinking, right, my first thinking is, right, that's my last card and I'm ditching it, right? However, some of our other cards are going to be able to allow us to deal with that oddly. And then the second card I looked at, play if US hard, set Germany and France to soft -1 prestige. That's bad as well. And remember, I can only ditch 1 card at the end, not 2. So both the cards are bad, and don't really want them to play. I don't really want to play them, but they're both playable. This one, plays to sell each in Central Asia and Afghanistan, is bad, but right now there's no cells on the drac. Oh, that's one thing to remember as well then, Grant. Okay, I'm glad I went over that again, because I'll come to what I was thinking. Right, we then move on to our unassociated cards. So this is the first thing I see and I think, oh, wait a minute. This event has to go off, and I'm assuming you don't play this for the event. You can play it for the event, but the event's going to trigger anyway. See, it says whenever this card is used for operations or discarded, you do this anyway. So you're better playing it for the 3 ops and then letting it trigger. It's got to happen anyway. Roll US posture, then if global war and terror penalty 0, +1 prestige, if not -1 prestige. Well, so I'm thinking, here's a situation where our posture and our global war and terror, it's at 0. There's no penalties, and it wouldn't matter if I was soft or hard, there'd still be no penalties. So that election is definitely going to gain me 1 prestige. Prestige has just moved down into the high column from very high, so that's good. And also, if this happens to go soft, then this card becomes unplayable. So gets us out of that hole. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't really want to be soft, because when I'm soft I can't do a regime change. And we do have Gulf States, which is Islamist rule. And remember, that's a 3-pointer for them. They only need 6 points to win the game. I'd rather get the 3 points away from there. Because, you know, the worry is that they can get somewhere else. And, I mean, okay, they would need to get another 3-pointer. There's not too many 3-pointers. There's Iraq, Gulf States. You got Egypt there as a 3. And I mean, there's some other, Indonesia and Malaysia, there's a 3, and there's no activity going on in them, so it's maybe not a panic as such, but I do want to kind of deal with that. Now, you can do what is one of their operations is a reassessment, which you can move from hard to soft or soft to hard. So if I went soft, I could go back to hard. However, you need to play 2 3-value cards, which takes up the whole action phase. And you're not allowed to use reserves to do that. So that's an expensive. So there are some pluses and minuses to it. But however, the fact that this has got to happen anyway, I'm as well doing it. And if we do go soft, I get away with this card. Now, moving on, this one's even more interesting, KSM. This actually allows us to deal with the martyrdom operation. It says, US may play if any plots in ally or non-Muslim countries. Reveal and remove them, and then draw 2 cards. So, when the martyrdom operation goes off, it's going to replace the cell in the United States, and this is where I just remembered that if we put a cell on the track again, this is going to be playable. So ideally, you want to get this card out of the way first before you start putting cells back on the track, man. Anyway, it's going to replace that cell with 2 pots. Once the 2 pots are out there, and I need to make sure that this is my second card play, which I realised, if you'd heard me talking earlier when I was paused, I was talking. Well, I've got to do this immediately, or the pots get resolved at the end of my action phase. So this would have to be a combination. Play the martyrdom operation first, then play this to get rid of the pots. And okay, I mean, I'm having to play this for an event rather than the ops, but remember, it enables me to use the martyrdom operation for 3 ops. Then the event goes off, replacing the cell with pots. Then I play this card, removing the 2 pots, and then drawing 2 cards to replace this. That's really good. Okay, and then finally, the last few cards here. Musharraf. Play if Pakistan has any cells. Remove 1 cell from Pakistan. Set it to poor ally. But this is blocked by Benazir Bhutto. Benazir Bhutto is still in play. So this is unplayable for us anyway, but we can still just use that for the 2 ops. Excuse me. And we've got the 2 yes cards are Predator. Remove a cell from a Muslim country, not Iran. Yeah, had my wee sort of dig there again about Muslim country, but not Iran. Well, Iran's not a Muslim country. Okay, and then and this is game purposes, by the way. I'm not sure if actually Iran would be classed as a Muslim country now or not. And remember, this is going back 2001 to question mark. This part of the game is, so I don't know. Things might have changed, and that's why we've got 2 other eras. I mean, to be honest, that's why there is a, you know, there's a map that comes into play for Iran that makes it a Muslim country, a Sunni. That's a Sunni one, isn't it? Or is that? Sunni, yeah. No, sorry. That's a Shia mix one. That's a Shia mix one. So it makes it, so I don't know, you know, things may have changed or whatever, or... and then finally, remove a cell from Muslim country, not Iran. So we can play that. Sharia, remove a besieged regime marker. Well, we can play that as well if we wanted to. There is 2 besieged regime markers there. Remember, they are they give 1 success towards a major jihad, don't they? So might be worthwhile playing it for that, unless we really want the 2 ops. But I think they can be left. I think the important stuff is the election, martyrdom operation at KSM. Yeah, it's all these 5 cards here that are important to get played right away early on, I think. I just, while I was talking away there, I had some comment, a guy commented on my video. I mean, I don't know why you would do this. But anyway, I dare say you get strange things. I don't know what video it was. I think it was maybe one of my D-Day playthroughs, and he's just commented, "Sorry, I can't understand you." That was it. And I just replied. I said, "Well, no problem." I said, "I'm Scottish, and there's not enough what I can do about it." I have tried to sort of speak a bit more properly, but you know, it's probably just the same for me listening to some American playthroughs. Some of the American accents can be a little bit tough for me as well. So I don't know where the guy was from, to be honest, but I just thought it was a bit odd to like leave a comment like that. I mean, fair enough. He's saying sorry about it, I suppose. But yeah, I think I would just, if it was me, I would just move on, and I just said you're better looking elsewhere for your viewing, because I don't get any clearer. I would doubt it probably goes the other way once I get a bit more livened up, and I might get a bit quicker spoken as well, and maybe harder to follow. But it sounds fine to me. I can understand it all, but anyway, that's off on a tangent there. So what are we going to do? Right, well, we need to do Martyrdom Operation and the US election, KSM together. One of the problems with this is, like I was saying about the reassessment, requires 2-3 cards, 2-3 value cards. These are both 2-3 value cards. However, I mean, if I play this for this, we get 2 plots, and then, you know, I can play that for the three ops, which I'm going to. However, I can't play that for the 3 ops. And the only other 3 op card I've got is the actual election. Now, hold on here. Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to do it to keep 2-3 ops cards in case I want to reassess? Well, it would have to be these 2 to keep. No, but this is the one that could put you soft. So yeah, I need to use the 3 ops first. So, well, hold on. You are allowed to decide which triggers first, the ops or the... problem is though, like I've just said, these 2 cards need to be played together. This one first and this one second. So... And I can't play them both for the ops. I play that one for the ops, but I need to play that one for the event. So it does look like if we do go soft, I've not got a reassessment this turn. I can't do it. What I'm hoping here actually is we stay hard. And then, it means that this card will trigger, but because I don't need to ditch the Martyrdom Operation, I can just keep this card till the end and get rid of it. Okay, so I do wait. I wait until the election to see if I'm playing that Schroeder and Chirac card though. Yeah, I think I should probably just do the plot thing first, and then it gets me to look at. I get 2 new cards as well. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, no, stop, no, because I've already said, Grant, I don't want cells on the track, and that's going to put a cell on the track. So this is the card I'd like to play first, I think. So the fact that you... Well, I could play this card first and then just deal with the election. And then next phase, do these 2 cards together. Yeah. Okay, so... Well, what do we want to do out there with 2 ops? That would be 2 ops, that would be 3 ops. What do we want to do with 2 ops? I don't know. Got a lot of cadres about ourselves. And the other thing is we oh yeah. No, you can deal with this first. Deal with this before the election, Grant. Yes. So what card? Well, I can use the election card to do that. Yeah. Well, maybe I'd just do a regime. You roll 1 prestige with regime change. Well. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to do that. That's true. I do want to do a regime change. We've got 9 troops on the track now, so I would still stay at was it moderate? The middle one? Why don't I just do the regime change first then? See what happens to my prestige. I then might want to disrupt in the Gulf states when I've got my troops in there. It maybe boost my prestige back up a bit. Yeah, and that would be no, because it's gonna go. It goes pure, doesn't it? Which means you need to disrupt with a 3 cost card. Does it go pure? It does. Or do we roll? Do we roll for it maybe? Regime change. Shift to ally. Roll for shift to ally. All cells to active. Shift to ally. Oh, we do roll governance. So it would be nice if we ended up with fair. But the odds are against that. It's a 5 or a 6 you need. So I do this with election card, then we roll US posture, then get +1 prestige. Yeah, and we might end up soft, but we're going to trigger the ops first before the event, because I don't want to be, well, to be honest, if I go soft, I then can't do the regime change. Okay, so I'm going to play the US election for the ops. This event is going to trigger, because it always has to trigger. I'm going to play the ops first before the event. And do a regime change. So, regime change, overthrow Islamist rule, create ally, target Islamist rule country. US must be hard. We are for the moment anyway. Use 3 ops. The election card is a 3 ops card. That's what we're using. We're using 3 ops. Deploy 6+ troops, all cells to active, shift to ally, roll governance, place green regime change marker, roll for prestige. Okay, so 6 troops. Well, at least 6 troops, but I'm only bringing 6. No, what am I talking about? I'm talking rubbish. Why did I think it was only... Yeah, I'm thinking I'm leaving 6 troops up there. Nah. Well... I mean, you might be able to get these troops back out of Iraq here, if I can get this to good. Which, to be honest, in actual fact, you know what? That may well be what I use that 2 ops card for, is to try and do a war of ideas in Iraq. It's tricky working out how to do all this, because I'd quite like to, this is going to move up by 1. However, if I do the regime change, we're rolling on prestige as well. So can I... Maybe I should rethink this. Yeah, I think I should. I'm not doing this. That's cool that you're wanting to do these things in a different order. So in actual fact, I think I want to do... Yeah, let's try the War of Ideas in Iraq first. No, wait. It's the election that moves this. But then I could go soft. The election's definitely going to boost this up by 1. However, the regime change rolls on this, and it could end up being a way down there. I think you should just take the +1 from it now. So do the War of Ideas first, then the election, then use the election for the regime change, and then trigger the election event, I think. Well, what's a War of Ideas? Remember, this is going to be an attempt at good, isn't it? And with no good adjacent, we do have an aid marker, and we get a +1 from there, so it's +2 but -1 for going to good, isn't it? Right, it's on the back here. -1 for that, nothing for that, +1 for that, so that's balanced out at 0, and then +1 for the aid. So it'll be a +1, remember we need a 5 or a 6. Just, it would have been nice if I could have got that. What's other ways of boosting your prestige? Removing cells with troops. Can't do any of that, but also don't want to put a cell back on the track just as of yet. That's I don't think I can do it. No, I can't. I can't do that. Okay. Well, let's just give it a go at the War of Ideas then. I think we might get lucky. Right. So I'm changing my mind now. I'm gonna play this card for 2 ops. Uh, Place a cell, and it's a jihadist event, so this would be checked to see if it triggers. Place a cell each in Central Asia and Afghanistan. You can see there's no cells on the track, so we're just going to get away with the event. So we're going to play this for 2 ops, and we're going to attempt the War of Ideas in Iraq to try and move it to good. So target neutral or ally Muslim country. If regime change, must have at least 5 more troops than cells. It's got 6 troops, no cells, and it's fair ally. So that's all good. So if we succeed, we'd shift, we'd improve the governance by 1 level to good, and then we would then be able to remove the regime change, and we'd be able to get access to our troops as well. If failure by 1, well, there's an aid marker there anyway. Okay, let's just roll on this. We've already worked out the modifiers. We're getting a +1. There's a +2 and a -1 for going good. So I need a 4 or better here on the dice. Is that right? Yeah. Come on, could do this. Oh, missed by 1. Rats. So 3 + 1's 4. Which would add an aid marker if there wasn't one there, but there is one there. Damn it. Okay. Right then. Okay, so for my second play then, I'm going to go for the election then, yeah? And let's just find out what's going to happen here. If we're going we're going to do the regime change, aren't we? Yeah, which is going to roll on prestige. Yeah, and then now I've not got access to the troops until... Yeah, well. I mean, could I hold off? Could I try that again? Maybe you could. Maybe you could. I can't play the Showdown Shirak card yet. So I could just use this Musharraf for another 2 ops. This event can't be played anyway because Benazir Bhutto's in play. It's blocked. And try that again. I mean, I'm just trying to do this, I suppose, because this is in here. Because there is a chance it could be down in medium or low. I mean, there's no rush to do the Gulf States regime change. Okay, let's do it. Let's give it another try then. So I'm going to do exactly the same. Again, it's a 2-cost card because the country is fair. And that's what that one was. And we're just playing this for the ops anyway. We can't play the event, but we're just playing this for the ops. It's not going to look at the event at all. So again, we've got a +1 Dyro modifier. So War of Ideas again. We need a 4 or better. That just feels horribly wasteful, doesn't it? Two cards away and nothing happened. Well, Grant, that's how it goes. Right, the 2 cards were played. No, this wasn't played for the event. Remember, it couldn't be played for the event, so it just gets discarded. They're both discarded. Right, we're moving on. So I hope the jihadist player doesn't mess up the rest of my plans now. Then. Thing is, I'm still looking at that, thinking I might try that again. I've still got 2 more ops cards that I could use, so I might actually try it again. Well, let's see what they do first. To be honest, yeah, let's just go. No messing about, Grant. Jings, another 3 Ops Jihadist card. Foreign fighters. So Suicide Volunteers stream in. Play if a country has regime change. It does. Oh my gosh. Oh no, there's no cells. There's no cells. Result. Play if a country has regime change. Place 5 cells there and remove 1 aid, if any. Or if none, place besiege regime. Well, let's first look at the event table just in case. What card is that? 81. That's brutal. But there's no cells on the track. There's no comment to card 81. So can we play this? Well, it's allowed to play it if a country has regime change. We do have a country with regime change, Iraq. Place 5 cells there. We cannot place 5 cells there. There's no cells on the track. And remove 1 aid, if any. Well, it can do that. Or, if none, place besiege regime. So I'm assuming that if none means they remove 1 aid and not the cells. Place 5 cells there and remove 1 aid, if any. Or, if no aid, place besiege regime. All this card's going to do is remove the aid marker then. What gets rid of our +1 that we've been getting, so. Does that make it playable? I think it does. Yeah, because it's still doing something. We've been here before. And where's the bit that tells us about this then? I was looking for this the other day, I think. And I couldn't find it, but I knew I'd read it before. Is it in the bot rules? Right, let me pause a second. Oh, actually. Oh, hang on though. This is rule 9. So you shouldn't be looking at this. But I suppose while I've got it open here, am I reading this right? Event or ops? Remember, this is the old bot rules, so I shouldn't really be paying attention to this. First of all, the event or ops flowchart. Yeah, because to determine whether the card's event occurs and what, if any, operations on jihadist side will perform. If the card is a playable 6.2.6, which I'm just going to look at shortly, if it's a playable jihadist or unassociated event, play the event, even if it provides no effect or to US advantage. Exception, when there are no cells in the... When there are no cells in the funding track, an event that would recruit or place a cell instead triggers radicalization. Oh dear. Right, that feels like something I missed. Let's get the new bot rules out and see what it says about that as well, because that sounds... I mean, I've just played a card already that was looking to place a cell and couldn't. So would it have done radicalization, wouldn't it? But we shouldn't be looking at their rules, Grant. So, right, here we go. So this is the Awakening bot, the one we're playing with. Page 8, event or ops. If the card's event is playable, 6.2.6, and not US associated, play the event. I see, this is different. Although, I tell you what, it's not talking that bit about cells, which I'm kind of glad about. Let's 6.2.6. Let's look at that. I know we've looked at it before, but that's the bit that tells you if it's playable or not. Isn't it? That was kind of scary. I'm kind of hoping I've got away with that. I think I would have made that mistake already though, and somebody would have pulled me up saying that if there's no cells on the track, you radicalise. 6.2.6 playable. Many cards have events with preconditions for play in grey text, and you see that whether you can see that in the camera, it's grey text that. I don't know if it's clear compared with the black text starts place 5 cells. So the grey text is play if a country has regime change, right? That's what would stop the event from becoming playable. And it does say they are grey text, right? For play in grey text. If the preconditions are not met, these cards cannot be played as events, only for operations. Similarly, blocked events are not playable. Yeah, I mean, if it was blocked, it couldn't be played. If that grey text can apply, there is a country with regime change, which says that card can be played, okay? Now, what if, see if there was no cells on the track. Well, to be honest, it's still playable, isn't it? I'm saying if there was no cells on the track, which there's not, and we had no aid markers in that regime change country, then it would still play this card, but to place a besieged regime marker, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, so moving back to this event or ops. So if the card's event is playable, well, we've decided it is, and not US associated, it's not, play the event to the maximum extent possible. So ideally it wants to place 5 cells, and it either wants to remove an aid or place a besieged regime marker. That's just a strange one to try and say, isn't it? So yeah, but it can the maximum extent it can do would either be to remove an aid or place a besieged regime. And there is an aid marker there, so the maximum it can do is remove the aid marker. Refer to the event instruction table for any additional instructions. I looked there, there's nothing. So exception, if executing a playable event would have no effect, the event is deemed unplayable. So that's different from the old rules then. Because it actually would have played that card with the old rules. Thing is, if it's trying to play and there's no cells, it does something different. So I'm just going to read the rest of this. Hang on, I'll just pause while I'm doing that. Yeah, I mean that's it. The rest of that just says, that says if the played event is unassociated, you'd add the ops to reserves for them, right? That says if it's unplayable or US associated, instead perform an operation as instructed by the Evo using any GI reserves necessary. And that says if used for operations, conduct only one operation, with the exception if it's radicalization. So yeah, there's no mention of an exception saying that if there's no cells on available to place, that you do something different here. Good. Okay. That's good for us. So, okay, so play. So it's playable. So card 81. There's a stretch over at the bottom of the page there. Foreign fighters, 2003 to 2008. While the vast majority of insurgent fighters in Iraq have been Iraqis, a steady stream of volunteers from North Africa, the Arab Peninsula, and the Levant are thought to have provided most of the suicide bombers there, demonstrating an impact on the conflict beyond their numbers. The occupation of Iraq no doubt contributed to recruitment of these volunteers and thereby put the flypaper theory of the Iraq war as a means to divert and debilitate Al-Qaeda's global jihad to a severe test. Okay, so foreign fighters. Play if a country has regime change. It does. Place 5 cells there. Can't do that. Remove 1 aid, if any, or if none, place besieged regime. Right. There's only one regime change country. There's no cells on the track. So there is an aid marker, so we're going to remove the aid, which does remove that +1 that we were getting. This is a bit of a shame. Well, to be honest, that card could have been so much worse if there had been cells on the track. I wonder if, just looking there, if there was 1 to 4 cells on the track, would you put them as much as you can towards up to 5? I mean, clearly if there's 5 there, you put all 5 there. But if there was 1, 2, 3 or 4, would you put them in the country? I'll leave that question there for you at the 35-minute mark. If there was one 1, 2, 3, or 4 cells on the track would you put them in a rack right now? I'll leave that one with you. We've not, so it doesn't matter. Just the fact it doesn't say place up to 5 cells, or it just says place 5 cells. So I'm not sure. Right, okay, that was our first card play, wasn't that? What were we at? 35 minutes. Okay. So that was scary, for sure. So yeah, and this is maybe why, because like that could have spoiled my. Well, no, that's not. It wasn't nothing to do with your regime change, was it, Grant? Yeah, it would have certainly stopped me from not doing the war of ideas, but maybe moving my troops away again, wouldn't it? Well, mind you, once you get rid of the regime change, I don't think it matters if there's cells there or not. Well, it's a bit scary though, leaving cells there. Anyway, it didn't happen. Right, move on, come on. Right, second card. Right, it's another jihadist event, only 2 ops this time. However, Gaza war, Israeli Hamas flare up. US No. US discards a random card, +1 funding, -1 prestige. That's horrible. I don't want to discard a card. See, this is what I was worried about. Both the events could have screwed up something. Right, okay, well, this is definitely playable. So, right, 63 Gaza War, 2006, 2008 to 2009. Israeli ground offensives into the Gaza Strip followed its voluntary withdrawal from the territory. Whether in the effort to rescue Hamas-held Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit, to stop Pakistan rocket strikes against Israeli border towns, or generally to pressure Hamas and degrade its capabilities, the Israeli offensive kept the Gazans' plight and Hamas's resistance in world media and front and centre in the Arab Street. Right, so just let me just glance. I mean, I don't see why I have to look. This will not be on the table, I don't think. 63. No, it's not. It's straightforward, isn't it? Worth just checking, though, I suppose. Right, so US discards a random card. Then +1 funding, -1 prestige. Right, I'm here at the prestige bit, so we'll knock prestige down by 1. Still in the +1 column. We'll knock funding back up to 9 again. I mean, okay, no cells there, but... And then the really worst bit about all this is we're going to randomly discard one of our cards. Right, let me... Remember, if the US election gets discarded... I don't want that either, because then that's going to trigger right away, isn't it? Right, I'm shuffling my hand up here, and I think I've got 6 cards here, so I'm going to roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have 6 cards. So I'm just going to put them here and roll a d6 and discard whatever number from top to bottom. Right, 6, so it's the bottom card. Oh, I don't need to count them, it's going to be that bottom card there. What's it going to be? Predator. That could have got... That could have been worse then, that's fine. Because I think we were just using that maybe for another War of Ideas attempt. Yeah, so US discards a random card. Right, we got lucky with that then. Okay. Right, I can set my cards back out again. So that's Gaza War done, isn't it? So that, KSM. Right, okay, we've only got 5 cards left now. But we're going to draw 2 more, assuming we get that KSM event off, which I think is what we're going to do, right? Yeah, well, actually, are we? I'm not sure. That was kind of scary though, and it makes me think maybe I should just get these important things done with what I want to do. I still think I could have one more shot at Iraq, to be honest. That's our 2 cards done. Both these were played for events, I think, but there's no removal of them, so they just go discard. So he's still got a bunch of cards left. Right, back to me. 40 minutes. Yeah, keep going, Grant. Come on, keep going. You're playing the game. That's what you're meant to be doing. So, we know these two need to go together. I don't mind about putting the cell back on the track now. I've not got an issue with that, so that's fine. Yeah, in fact, can I not just do this now? What was the issue? I think we wanted rid of that other card that was going to place the event, place the cell. So now we can play these, and we'll worry about the election and whether we have another war ideas, because this is not going to mess with prestige or anything like that, is it? Play, remove that, replace the cell with 2 available plots. Then we use that. US may play if any plots in ally or non-Muslim countries. Reveal and remove them, draw 2 cards. Yeah, we're doing that. So what, yeah, but hold on. What are you going to do with the 3 ops from this? Because I'm not playing this for the, well, I can't play this for the event. It's a jihadist event, but the event's going to trigger. Well, couldn't you use that? Couldn't you use that for the regime change? I'm trying to think here. See, if I use this for the regime change first and the country goes poor, then it would be nice to use 3 ops to not war of ideas, to disrupt in the country, taking 2 of the cell. Remember, all these cells, well, they're actually active as it is anyway. They were activated when the Islamist rule happened, and they've never changed. That is right. When the Islamist rule, when a major jihad, is that what happens? Major jihad, all cells go active. Yeah, it's the same in a regime change. All cells would go active as well, isn't it? All cells to active. Yeah, but while they're active, they're nice and easy targets. Once we've got troops in there, we can take 2 of them out. If it goes poor, we need a 3 ops card to do it. What sort of makes me want to just hold off again on the Martyrdom Operation KSM thing. That's risky though, Grant. Yeah, and I can't play Schroeder and Chirac, so I was just thinking about that there. Well, we take a chance here. Remember, we now need a 5 or a 6 in here. Yeah, because +1 more ideas, but -1 for going tempting good. However, if we did get a 4, we'd get our aid back. Okay. Right, let's just take a chance with it. Well, I mean, what if you got lucky with the prestige roll and ended up very high again? That's possible. Yeah, you're talking about keeping your 3 ops though, aren't you? And that's what you want for the Gulf states. Okay. I'm gonna take my chance again then, and I'm gonna play Sharia. Just for the ops. The event was remove a Aziz regime marker, but yeah, I mean, if there'd been one where there was, if there'd been troops in these, I would maybe consider this being more important as an event to remove this. But there's not troops, cells. So we'll take a chance and just use it for the 2 ops, and we're going to attempt the War of Ideas again in Iraq. So there's a +1 for this. There's no aid, and then there's a -1 for trying to go to good. That's what we need. That big fix there. Right. So there's no modifiers. 0 modifiers. So we need a 5 or a 6 or a 4 if it comes to it. Oh man, it's just not happening, is it? Okay. Right, we're doing the election now. No, you're doing that for the ops. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm doing I'm doing that for the ops, and I'm going to do a regime change in the Gulf states. Yeah, doing that. So regime change, it's Islamist rule. US must be hard. Use 3 ops. Done all that. Right. So deploy 6 plus troops. Right, I've just chose 6 troops, there's 3 still on the track, and then that marker goes back into overstretch, doesn't it? Yeah, because it's got to go in the box that there's 5 or less, the furthest box to the right with 5 or less, yeah. So 6 troops. All cells to active, well, they're already active. Shift to ally. So, well, this is going away, but we're going to be ally. However, we're not going to be Islamist rule. We're going to be, well, take that away then, Grant. We're either going to be pure or fair. So, and I'm hoping for fair, but I've got it covered if it goes pure, I guess. But you still prefer fair, I think. So, yeah, shift to ally, roll governance. Right, let's roll governance. And again, remember, governance rule 1 to 4 it's poor, 5 to 6 it's fair. Yeah, so we're looking for a 5 or a 6. I might get a 6 this time, but mind you, I would wanted one of them for Iraq. All the 3 rolls. Right, so it is fair, which is good. So fair ally. Right, and then while we're adjusting that, let's just jump down here, and they now don't have any Islamist resources. That was an Islamist country, so that should be down at 7, and that should have jumped up to 4. Let's just double check these while we're here. So I've got 4 fair and good. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fair and good, and 7 poor Islamist rule. There's no Islamist rule now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, that's correct. Resource-wise, they've got none, and resource-wise for us is good. We've got 1, 2, 3. Right, that all computes. Right, okay, good. Right, we've rolled for governance. So back checking regime change. We place a green regime change marker. Green regime change. And the Gulf states. Yeah. Oh, come on. Right, sorry, was that in camera? Yeah, green regime change. And then this is the risky bit. We roll for prestige. Right, so rolling for prestige. After regime change, roll a die, modified die roll by -1 if global terror penalty. Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, there's no global war on terror penalty. So 1 to 4, this is going to drop. 5 to 6, it rises. Then we roll 2 dice and pick the lower amount. So again, we're looking for a 5 or 6. This is a big one. Alright, 1 to 4 it drops, 5 to 6. And we lose out this time. Right, so we're going to roll, just going to drop, we're going to roll 2 dice and drop it by the lower amount. So we want a 1 or a 2 on one of these dice. No 2 big numbers. Oh no! No, you said the words, not 2 big numbers. Right, so it's going to drop by 5. Now things are changing, aren't they? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's down in the low. So we're going to get a -1 to our War of Ideas. Fortunately, when the event triggers, we're going to go back up one, aren't we? Yeah. So it's maybe not quite so bad, but yeah, that was bad. Right, that's us completed the regime change, I think. I've adjusted all the markers, checked everything. Yeah, okay, that's done. Right, so now, because I know this is an unassociated event, so normally us playing it for the ops would not trigger the event, but you can see it says automatic event. Whenever this card is used for operations, which we just used, or discarded, we're going to roll yes posture. Then if global war and terror penalty is 0, we're going to get a +1 prestige. If not, a -1 prestige. So we're definitely going to get the +1 prestige because this can't be a penalty. If that goes there, it's still not a penalty. So we are going to roll for, what is that? Posture. Now, I want to say that there is not a +1 to this. Posture. Because it's the US we're doing. Or is that something else? No, it is, look. So, set or reset a non-Muslim country's posture. That's what we're doing. When we would do it, test war of ideas on block plot or by event. We're doing it by event. Roll a die. If setting US posture, which it is, we're rolling on US posture, we get a +1 to this die roll. And then we would adjust the global war and terror relations. Adjust US global war and terror relations, 4.7.2. That just means if there was a penalty, I think. Yeah, I mean, because the world's at 0, it's not going to affect it then. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So, and the posture, again, 1 to 4 is going to be soft. 5 to 6 is hard, but remember, we do get a +1 to that, so a 4, I mean, we want a 4, 5, or a 6, so 50-50 here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we want a 4 or higher to keep it hard, I think. That's what we want. I know that event, but we can ditch that event as the last card, so yes, 6. Right, we're getting some when we want them and some when we don't. So 6 + 1 is 7, so it's above. 5 to 6 it rises. Oh, well, I'm assuming 7 it also rises. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 5 to 6 it's hard, yeah. So it stays hard. So no, and there's no penalty there. And then because there's no penalty, then if global and terror penalty 0, +1 prestige, if not -1 prestige, so we get out of that low column. Oops. There, but no modifier, no positive modifier there, unfortunately. Right, that is this event done. Looks like this card gets shuffled in as well, doesn't it? So it's going to come up every time. I mean, we're not doing a shuffle with this deck. However, maybe is there one of these in the other deck? Quite possibly. It might be in the new decks as well. So none of these are discarded. Just go with discard. And I think I might be taking a little break there, I think, because that's 1.5 parts I've done just in this one sit-in. As the jihadist player to go next, I will mark that as his first card play for the next turn. Hopefully he's not going to interfere with our cunning plan of putting plots in the US and then removing them right away and drawing 2 cards. That's a plan anyway, so fingers crossed that can still be pulled off. I was looking a bit risky when the last 2 events. Well, I don't think that was interfering with that situation, but it just shows you that some events could do that and get in the way. Well, we've got regime change. We ended up being fair in the Gulf states. Whether we might still use this 3 ops just to do it in the Gulf states, do the disrupt, increase our prestige by 1. I mean, it's not getting us, well, it's getting us back up a little bit, but to be honest, 3 disrupts in the Gulf states while we've got troops there would go 1, 2, 3, but that's 3 cards, remember. And again, we're going to draw 2 more cards. We might be able to actually do that. And while these are active, it's better to supposed to take care of them. Does then mean that cells are going back to the track and they're going to come out to play again, but anyway. Right, 55 minutes. I will take a break there. I will cut this now and copy it across and do all the things I've got to do. And I hope to get back in a bit. Cheers.